Defend only.
Hey guys, it's Lazy, and this is going to be my day 3 updates for my Amazon Lightning Spear character, which is now level 88. And I have changed a lot, make a few modifications to the characters. I am now on a Rhoa, and I have several different setups as well. Let me just go with the shields. For now, Lycos today is kind of expensive. The other one is kind of the budget option, but still good. I'll talk all about that after. But let me again just quickly showcase the map here. This is an open layout, so it's good. And I've been blasting T15 map without any issues. This build absolutely slapped the contents, easily do a lot of damage. We throw one spear and we clear multiple screens of enemies. Normal enemies, obviously. Rare monster, you need 1 or 2 hits. But otherwise, this build do a lot of damage. And it feels very satisfying to play with this build. I did invest into making this build a little bit more tanky, but in my opinion, it's not necessary as long as you have the damage. Again, we're playing softball here, and the build, in my opinion, is good if you can at least survive and clear the maps. And you need to go fast, you need to make currency. It is only day 3 of the league, so a lot of the unique items are expensive as well. Over the next few days, the price should come down because it's only the beginning of the league and not a lot of people are at the end game yet. So you can see the most of this map still falling over, and they even have the extra maximum life as energy shield as well. The only button that I'm pressing is Lightning Spear, and I don't even need to use Barrage, but occasionally we can press Barrage to clear the rare pack as well. Yep, so riding your Rhoa and shooting Lightning Spear is very fun and relaxing. You should also know that we just got buffed because everybody's saying Spear is weak, so we got more attack speed now, and so I dropped Dance of Death and start using a shield. So for a League starter, I believe that it's important for a build to be able to clear maps, and only maps, because we can farm currency from maps, and this build have no problem with bossing as well. In the beginning, you can see that I can clear a difficulty 2 boss in 30 seconds, which is pretty good. Not a lot of build is doing a lot of damage right now. So yeah, getting to T15 and be able to destroy T15 content is pretty good. This build can do bridge, this build can do expeditions. We can do ritual, it is kind of rippy. You are on the Rhoa, so it doesn't really matter if you're tanky or not, because if you just get hit on this thing, you will fall up, get heavy stun, and even if you are tanky, you are going to die anyway. So there's that. If you play properly though, it's very hard to die because you can see all these small monsters, they don't get a chance to even touch us at all. And yeah, absolutely just blasting map here, perfect. I need this. And you can see here, very satisfying gameplay. Hopefully this map is not too long. I don't even see the Ray monster. Maybe it dies in the chain, but we do a lot of damage. Especially if the Ray monster is like next to a pack monster, it might just get chained and die. Otherwise, yep, 2 hit and die. There's a bit of aiming that you need to do on the Lightning Spear, so it gets a little bit awkward if you miss. I'm not sure if this will get better on the controller, but otherwise, this is going to be the map. Hopefully you like the showcase. This build absolutely blast mapped, and it's going to farm a lot of currencies, and I'm not even done with investing in the build yet. Right now haven't get my last ascendancy point and stuff like that. So but let's talk about the skill gem first. Now, the changes that I made to the build, the biggest change I made to the build was, I guess, dropping a link in Lightning Spear and add fork support. So this skill make the projectile fork so that you can see that projectile and fork split into two the first time they hit an enemy and do not pierce. So for Lightning Spear, it says here that the spear cannot pierce fork chain or return, but the lightning bolt can, which means that when you throw the spear out, it's split into multiple projectiles. It split to 3 targets, and those 3 targets gonna fork into even 2 more, so that's like 6 projectiles. And then we have the additional quality to have 2 more bolt, and you have 7 bolt just splitting everywhere, forking everywhere. So we have a lot of bolt, and once we have enough damage, you can see that's what happened in the background. You throw 1 spear out, you clear the whole screen, which is the only change I made, I think. And the reason why I can do that is because I bought a new amulet. And yeah, so this is the amulet, but I'll talk about that in the item sections. Besides that, Lightning Spear do not have any... Sorry, put on D&D here real quick. Yeah, I didn't change anything else. Okay, so for Stormlands, I did make this into a blind skill. So Stormlands is going to blind the enemy, and blind is very good. Blind make enemy has less evasion rating, and less evasion rating is very good because accuracy have a diminishing return, which means that if you can scale the monster evasion down, it is going to work a lot better for us, directly helping us have more accuracy. And monster having less accuracy rating is pretty nice as well because we are an evasion archetype. I typically only throw down the Stormlands for boss or rare packs though, so yeah. And our resistance is not even capped. Yeah, so you can see my evasions at 49%, not too crazy. I haven't really invested in the gear yet. I'm still saving money to do a big upgrades. Other than that, I think Herald of Thunder, pretty much the same. I add Rhoa mount into the build. Rhoa is crazy good for this build. And as you can see here, let me see, I have deliberations. So when you're throwing spear out, you slow down. And we did have a patch that they just buff us. So they buff our build. And we attack a lot faster now, and we don't get slow as much. But you can see we get slowed down a little bit. Now, on the Rhoa, we don't get slowed down at all, and the Rhoa scale with our movement speed 1-to-1. And this means that we are so mobile that you should not get hit in a normal mapping scenario unless you get surrounded. But then maybe that's on you. This build, we want to play evasion, and we don't want to go tanky. We cannot go tanky at all with this build because we already invest so much into dexterity and stuff like that. We are stacking dexterity, and we are stacking accuracy rating, so it's really hard to go tanky with this build. So just go evasion and play like a glass cannon. That's how it is. And if you don't like the playstyle, then again, it's not going to get that much better in the late game. We can get to higher evasion number, and we can spec into acrobatics. I still need to look at the POB to see if it's possible to put point into acrobatic right now, especially that we don't have body armor, which we are using this. I think eventually we can drop this body armor though, so yeah, I think so for Rhoa mounts, I have median masteries, meat shields, and loyalty. And all the setups will be on the Mobalytics as well. I'll do this as a mid-game, mid-budget setups. It's kind of mid-budget. I don't think any of these are too expensive. So yeah, let's talk about the gear next. I got a new spear. So the showcase yesterday was kind of bad because I was using a bad spear. This one is a lot better. It is not the best though, like it is just a normal standard. You can get this one for 1-2 divide if I have to guess. Right now, attack speed is nice, crit chance is good but not needed. I really want to have mana on kill or something like that to sustain the mana. Mana is not too bad though, like it should be fine when you're killing a lot of stuff and you have a good mana potion. So the only reason why I'm not fighting the harder bosses right now is because I don't have the mana flask that have give you charges per seconds that help you sustain in a long fight. I don't have that. But otherwise, I added 2 items into the build. The first one is Beacon of Aziz, and this one is it has this line here that says critical hit ignore enemy monster elemental resistance. We are always crit, pretty much. With the Lycosidae shields, we have this is like almost 100%. And even on evasive monster, which will encounter them and at range as well, we have potential to give 40% more chance of crits, and we generate a lot of critical hits from the power charge, and you always have power charge because of Breath of Conduit, so we have no problem there. Alright, so everything's still pretty much the same. If this is too expensive, you can look into this option as well. So Sunsplinter is very good because it gave Infused Weapon a lot of damage. Infused Weapon is lightning, cold, and fire. And this one gives 2 to cold, 3 to fire, 1 to lightning, which means it gives this one Infused Weapon 6 level. And you can see the damage go all the way up to 9.2k, and that's a lot more damage. And you're pretty much always going to have this thing up because you get power charge and you get consumed anyway. So yeah, it's an option. I think eventually in the end game I might go for this option. It's going to give me more damage, at least when fighting bosses, but for normal mapping this is nice. It just double your accuracy, but eventually you will have better gear, you have better accuracy roll on your weapons, on your helmets, on your rings and glove, so there's that. For the anointment, I did anoint Barbaric Strength, which is the note here. You have a few options that I also listed on Mobalytics as well, depending on what you need, but these 2 should be the cheap note. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Cover the gear. Oh, actually, so Brinabas, if you can't afford this, this thing went from 5x to 2 divine, which is like crazy. A lot of people watching the build, I guess, but this thing gave a lot of value, especially with the overcharge rework. That's why yeah, cannot be shocked with such a big thing. You can probably run a shock charm, or you just get shocked. I mean, if you get hit, you're gonna die anyway, right? Just go on the Rhoa and just don't get hits. Especially in the early mappings, you don't really run 6 modded maps, so you have 1 or 2 portal, and if you build properly, you're gonna do a lot of damage, so you kill the monster before they get to you, and you can have a good time kiting back without any issues here. And so yeah. Alright, so let's talk about the passive skill trees. And I did change quite a few things here, but the main idea here is that I build a little bit more defensively. So you just kind of path here to the monk area, because the monk area have really good stats, and there are a few more good notes up here as well. I don't think I'm gonna path there. This is going to be it. If I'm going to build more defensively, it's gonna be getting more evasion on the gear total and get the Stalking Panther. But I'm probably not gonna get that as well. I'm just gonna go for Predatory Instinct and just one-shot everything. That's like my playstyle, but if you want to be defensive, this is your options as a 4th ascendancy point. And so path up there, sip a few point down here. You don't have to take this note if you're not at my level, and you can drop a few point here as well. Plus 1 base crit chance is nothing because our ascendancies are already giving us so much plus to the crit chance. So this one is actually not that good. I mean, if you want to get some point somewhere else, you just unspec the whole cluster, or maybe these 3 point, because the intelligence and strength is still pretty good. And also, I spec into companions. And because we are riding a Rhoa, we always have companion. And these companion nodes are actually extremely efficient. This one have reduced reservation, which makes it so I can run the setups with 0 spirits. Oh, actually, did I talk about it? Okay. I think I have. Okay, no, yeah. So just Rhoa. If you want to run this exact setup, so I have precision, so I have clarity on Combat Frenzy. But yeah, that's the exact setup that I run. If you don't have a perfect roll of Beacon of Aziz like this, you can drop clarity. It shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, so this one have reduced reservation, make it so that we can equip it. Nurturing Guardians and life recovery from Flask applied to companion, not that important. But this note giving increase and reduction to companion damage also apply to you, which means that these notes are extremely efficient, giving you 20% increase in damage if I understand this note correctly. So we get 12% increased damage here, we get 8% while in presence of your companion, which we always do because we are riding the Rhoa. So 20%, that is extremely efficient, and if people find out about this, I think they will like to spec into this. This is really good. And we also have increased defense while your companion is in your presence, which means that it applied to your evasions. So as you can see here, my evasion is 52, and if I were to dismount my Rhoa, my evasion go down by a little bit. So anything there helps. Yep, so go up. And besides that, I think that's pretty much all that I changed. And for the rest of the point, oh, actually, one more thing here that's very important. Getting this point is actually really good. Getting this point meaning that you freeze a lot more, and so just for generic mapping in general, you get a lot more frenzy charge when you freeze because we are still running that combat frenzy setups. And now that I remember, I'm just gonna quickly talk about this, but actually I would have talked about that later. Do we have anything else? Actually, yeah, I cover everything. Okay, so like a quick FAQ. A lot of people ask me or comment that Rising Tempest doesn't work with this, which I think it works because when we use Lightning Spear, right? It's a lightning skill, so it gives increased damage, but we get power charge from it. I haven't really I can't really properly test this because we had a lot of buff when we attack, but we get power charge, and when we consume, it is infused weapon, which is an attack. This is not a trigger. This is not a trigger, this is an attack. It has the attack tag, which means that whenever we consume, we have infused weapon infused into our projectile weapon, and it will trigger the Rising Tempest as it uses as a skill. It's not a trigger attack. If it's a trigger, then it's not gonna work, but this one is not. So I think it's gonna work there. And yeah, I don't know, I think this pretty much cover everything. And people ask me about Tame Beast. I think Tame Beast is nice. I did get a few more cool beasts, but overall for this kind of spear build in the end game, you definitely want to go on a Rhoa. Just feel very nice. Oh, and one more thing, when you are riding your Rhoa, you can see the stun threshold here, and whenever you get hit, you're not going to see this bar reset, which means that if it was full and you don't want to get knocked out on your Rhoa, just do a quick roll, let your stun bar refresh, and then you can get back on your Rhoa. Now, finally, because we have Beacon of Aziz, so you don't have to spec into any elemental penetration anymore because we will mostly always crit. This build feels extremely satisfying to play at this point, and if I'm going to theory craft anything else, it is going to be for a little bit more defense and for single target damage. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this update, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.